because one of the big issues of the day is this dragon gas deal. Now, to many people on the ground, this might seem like a highfalutin matter, but I always make the point that if we don't understand what's going on in the energy sector, we don't understand what's going on in the economy. And when the economy doesn't grow, down to the man on the street can't get bread to buy. So it definitely affects all of us. We have heard where the Prime Minister has gone to Guyana at the Energy Expo and has spoken about, the possible benefits from this dragon gas matter. Some weeks ago, the country was quite celebratory given this potential for benefits from this dragon gas deal, given the US sanctions being softened for a period of 2 years. Minister Stuart Young went to Venezuela quietly, came back quietly, having met with key stakeholders in the Venezuelan energy sector at the state level, but we have not heard from him as to what exactly that meeting yielded. What are some of your thoughts on the state of events with respect to the dragon gas deal?
Okay, so let me make this clear, because in the opposition, the United National Congress, we are easily labeled as disruptive and non-patriotic and so on. So I want to put this on the board very, very clear. Gas, any gas for our facilities are a welcome news. It's welcome news. Right now today, our economy, jump high, jump low, it is hinged on our energy prospects. And if you look at our data for the last 50 years, when energy prices are high, our economy grows. When the energy prices are low, it contracts. Right now, Kieran, we are short of 2.1 billion standard cubic feet of gas for the Point Lisas industrial estates. So that is why some facilities have had to be mothballed. We've had to mothball Train 1. We've had a downsizing of some of our petrochemical downstream industry because we just don't have the gas. So what we have to do to improve the gas, we need access to more gas. How do we access more gas? Either we use something called gas lift and we inject into the existing fields and we try to lift more gas. All of our fields are mature fields, Kieran. It's very difficult for the oil and gas to come up. We have to spend more money to bring it up. You would recall sometime in 2019, BP had an exercise in some of their old fields that they tried to bring some gas up and all were dry. So that was a bit disappointing for us. So really and truly, we need to find new gas. So where we're going to find new gas and oil, it has to be in our deep water fields. That's North Trinidad, where you have, if you recall, there's a gas field called Calypso, which is being looked at by BP and Woodside. Right now, it is under negotiation with the government of Trinidad and Tobago in terms of how do we get the best monetization for that gas. So basically, that is at a standstill. I think there's about 10 trillion cubic feet of gas in that field. But outside of that, we have had no exploration in our deep waters. Why? Deep water exploration is very, very expensive. So you now have to really come up with good fiscal incentives for our multinational partners to come into our waters, our deep waters, to find that gas and oil. Now that being said, if you look globally, there are a lot of new fields that are coming on stream in other territories where the contracts for exploration is much more favorable than what we have here in Trinidad and Tobago. It is my understanding that one of the key issues for us in terms of inviting deep water investments is the fact that the government of Trinidad and Tobago has a 50 to 60% requirement in terms of the profit sharing. Now, when you have boards of these multinational companies that can go to other jurisdictions, explore, and get 30 to 35% profit sharing arrangements, well, obviously capital could go there. So that's one thing. The other thing that you have as well, a lot of these boards are hinged on, renewable energies. They are in with COP 25, 26, 27, and their board members are saying, well, look, we don't want to spend a whole lot of money on fossil fuel. Let's put a certain section of our investment in renewables. So now we have less capital to go towards fossil fuel. They're going into solar. And then lastly, when you have unfavorable conditions in mature economies like us, people say, well, just let's not go. So it brings us to the dragon field. what we have is a geographic partner in Venezuela. We are located 10-15 miles from Venezuela, and they have an abundance of gas, which is good for us. It's good for Trinidad and Tobago. However, there is an arrangement where the United States government has a problem with the administration in Caracas. It is not a Trinidad and Tobago problem. Let me get that clear. It is not a UNC problem. The United States government has put sanctions on Venezuela. And what is sanction is, remember, Venezuela is a sovereign state. But the sanction really prohibits American companies, American firms, American cash from being utilized in any business in Venezuela. So that has been a problem for some time. Now, this Dragon Field negotiation has been going on for about 10 years, right? So it is not something new, it's something that has been on the drawing board, but Caracas and Port of Spain have had issues as to how we're going to mine it, how we're going to get it. What has happened is that Stuart Young and the Prime Minister, and I can't fault them for that. And I think they need a bit of congratulations for going to Washington and starting a negotiation to get access to the Dragon Field. Ask the US OFLAC office to lift the sanctions so that we can go to Caracas and say, look, let us get this gas out. We need it. You need the money. We need the gas. That has happened, but the United States government has put some conditions. One of the main conditions that there should be no cash transaction. So it means that whatever we buy the gas for, we cannot pay Caracas in US currency or US cash. So that is the problem. The United States expects any trade for gas to be done in commodities, whether it's food, medicine, and so on, because in their view, there is a humanitarian crisis in Caracas. We don't want to allow Trinidad and Tobago to spend money, and then the money doesn't go to the people, it goes in bank accounts, and it goes towards, the perception of the illegal drug trade and all. So that is where we are. So we are stuck now, where Stuart and they have gone back to Caracas, and he rightly said he went quietly, and he's come back quietly. In my view, I don't think, from all our information, President Maduro has made it very, very clear that he has no interest in trading his gas for food or medicine, or at least it should be on his terms, not in terms of the United States government. So I do not know what arrangement or what concession that may have been made. What I can tell you, Port of Spain cannot or should not go against the United States sanction, because it puts us in a very precarious position. Through our CBI, Caribbean Basin Initiative, we trade almost $1 billion TT dollars in terms of our manufactured goods going into the United States. So we need to be very careful in these intense negotiations. I suspect, Kieran, that the Prime Minister and Minister Young and they may have to go back to Washington, go back to the Congressional Committee, and try and renegotiate some softer terms to go back to Caracas to say, perhaps we can give you some food and medicine, but give you some cash as well. So to sum it up, is that the Dragon Field is a good thing. It's a good thing for Trinidad and Tobago. It will require intense negotiation. It's a lot of geopolitics playing off. As you know, the Dragon Field sits around 3 or 4 fields that has been leased to Russia. So there's some geopolitics playing off there in terms of gas. The Russian Gazprom and say have a lot of issues in there in terms of crime syndicates and so on. So it's really a tough position for the government of Trinidad and Tobago to be in, but it requires smart conversation. And what I can tell you with Prime Minister Rowley's visit to Caracas yesterday, I am sorry to say, I have so many colleagues, I work in the energy sector as well, and the feedback that I got last night was that, unfortunately, our Prime Minister was the laughing stock of the entire conference, because he went there to offer advice to Guyana on how to manage their energy sector. After this man collapsed Petrotrin, collapse our energy sector here, you going to Guyana to tell them how to do their business? Man, he's a laughing stock. And that is the problem that we're in with regards to this whole gas run.
We are speaking with the Member of Parliament from Mayaro and the opposition shadow member for Trade, Industry and Commerce.